So a group chat that turned into a podcast? Hell yeah, dude. Venting to all your besties? Hell yeah, dude. Are they a little bit bothered? Hell yeah, dude.
Welcome back to the A Little Bit Bothered podcast. You know, that group chat where you run to share everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's what this is. And if you don't have a bestie group chat, well, now you do. It's us. We want to share our wins, our losses with you and our venting sessions. So make sure to follow us at A Little Bit Bothered on everything and join the community. But let's go ahead and see what we're bothered about today. I'm Nicole.
I'm Kelsie.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Monica. Ooh, I am so excited.
Episode 2. Yes. Episode 2. Hell yes. Yeah, dude. Sorry, I'm really not bothered at all about our intro. Okay, that's not what we're bothered about today.
No, we love the intro.
We love the intro.
No, I hope our people get it.
I hope our people get it. Yeah. If you get it, you are our people, and you're stuck with us.
I am so excited to get into the topics today. We have some good ones. I hope all of you listening will feel like you know us a little bit more by the end of this episode. I know we're so brand new to all of you, so you're new to us as well. Be sure to follow us and drop into our DMs, share some stories with us, tell us a little bit about you, but also I hope that you walk away from today's episode feeling like you know a little bit more about us. So let's get into it.
Let's go. Let's get to know our hosts a little bit more with icebreakers.
Y'all need to get to know us better. We're weird, and we want to show that to you, and we want you guys to be weird with us. So feel free to please be weird with us on our socials. Make sure you're following us on all the things. Okay, Kelsie.
Yes.
And I choose you because you usually have the most embarrassing stories. So what is your most embarrassing thing that has happened to you recently?
I would say nothing, but that wouldn't be true.
Don't lie to me. We don't lie.
We know it wouldn't.
We went on a little family adventure the other day, which required us to park in a parking garage. And as we were walking back to said parking garage, there were the parking lot poles that kind of separate the sidewalk from the driving area. The big yellow poles that stick up out of the ground that you couldn't miss if you tried.
The ones that are yellow to get your attention?
Yeah, the ones that you're, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's like the
Very
caution
large.
color.
About 4 feet tall. Shouldn't miss them. Anyways, I saw it. I did.
That makes it worse.
And I was holding my son's hand, and we were just walking, and then all of a sudden, I hit something really hard, and I looked down, and I have just ran into this giant 4-foot yellow pole that I had seen 10 yards back, but apparently blocked out of my brain. Anyways, I walked straight into it, and that thing went straight into my crotch. And I thought that I split my coochie open.
No.
It was... that's not even the worst part. The fact that I saw it and walked into it is one thing, but there was this old couple and then another family right behind them just walking straight at me. They watched me walk into a pole.
They just looked at you in your eyes while it happened.
No one said a word.
Oh,
this
everyone
old
just pretended
man
it didn't
made
happen.
eye contact with me. But I was like, I literally just split my freaking crotch in half. And I have to pretend like it didn't hurt because I have to get out of this situation as fast as I can. So I'm limping, trying to catch up with my husband. I'm like, I think there's blood rushing down my leg because there's no way that I didn't just cut my crotch clear open right now. And it hit my knee too. So I'm literally limping.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not kidding. It was swollen and bruised for 2 days.
For reference,
That's tragic.
I'm 5'1", so if I ran into it, I would run straight into my face would be shattered. If I
You get a black eye. Kelsey's over 6 foot, so
I'm 6 foot. So when I ran into it, it went straight into my vagina.
lucky
Episode
you.
2, and we're getting close with Kelsie again.
Can you
again? We're hanging out in Kelsie's nether regions again.
Kelsey's our oversharer.
I am.
You know the one.
Oops. Yeah, it's me. Hi,
It's
me.
you.
Every time.
Wait, I think we should
that.
just reverse the question and ask Nicole her most embarrassing story.
But I don't have one.
That can't
I
be
swear.
true.
No, I like not anything recent. I don't get embarrassed. And I think it's from years of my mother trying to embarrass me that I don't get embarrassed.
Oh, you're just like, you're closed to it.
I'm just
I
like,
don't
that's
feel
funny.
embarrassment.
That sounds like a superpower.
Honestly, it does.
No, really, I don't. And if I do get embarrassed, it's like so fleeting because I'm just like, oh, whatever. Can't change it now.
Wow, that's great.
I'm envious. Like
it might live rent free in my head for a little while, but otherwise, I'm just like, meh. What can you do? I really don't. I wish next time something embarrassing happens to me, I'm gonna write it down. And then I'll bring it to you guys because I can't.
Yes,
I was trying to remember something like while she was talking, and I was like, I can't. Sorry.
You weren't listening to me?
No, I was, but I was also thinking like what my answer would be. You don't do that?
You weren't actively listening to what I was saying?
You don't do that? Wait, that's not normal? You don't think about what you would also respond to when you hear somebody else?
But I'm also taking college courses about active listening, and that's a no-no.
Well,
ooh, Nicole's in trouble.
You're not supposed to think
I would
ahead.
fail. I would fail. I can't help it. It's my anxiety brain. My anxiety brain's like, what are we going to say? Answer the question that wasn't asked to you.
I do have a question for you, Nicole.
Oh, okay.
What is your weirdest phobia? Because I feel like you're a bitch with a weird phobia, for sure.
It's not weird. It's common.
She knew right off the bat what she was going to say.
Yeah, she's
I
like,
don't like spiders. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I really hate spiders. But like, I have this phobia now. It's not a phobia. I can't not wear socks in my house. Is that a phobia? Like
that
my
sounds
feet,
like a phobia.
It does. I can't walk around barefoot in my house.
Like, what are you afraid is going to happen if you
nothing?
don't wear socks?
I just don't like stuff on my feet.
Oh, is it like
and
a
I
sensory
feel like
thing?
Yeah, and so it's not really like a phobia, but it's like a new thing that like freaks me out if I don't have socks on my feet. Oh.
We need to take a poll on this when everyone listens to this. You need to let us know. Come to our DMs and tell us, is this a weird thing? Do you have to wear socks in your house?
I usually wear socks and slippers, but my husband makes fun of my slippers because they make the noise around my house. And he's like, I can hear you coming. You're not sneaky. But like...
but it's like those 90s pants, those swish pants.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Like the windbreaker.
So, I mean,
material.
I guess that's not really a phobia, but it's a weird thing of mine. My true phobia, though, and I don't actually want to tell you guys this because I feel like it's going to be used against me in the near future. I don't like clowns.
What?
Clouds?
I don't like clowns.
Oh, clowns!
Did you
not
think
what
I said clouds?
I thought you said clouds.
You're
I thought we
stupid.
were
No,
going
I'm just kidding.
I was
your
like,
fucking ears. Clown, bitch. I don't like clowns.
I was like, I know you don't like tornadoes, but like,
I thought that's where it was going.
No, clowns. Clowns are it. I watched the movie It when I was far too young, and it literally traumatized me. And I mean, you guys know this, but for those who don't know me, which is everybody listening to this, I love scary movies and like the paranormal and the creepy weird things. But that's where I draw the line. Like I cannot do it. And my best friend, she saw the new one, the new It, and she was like, no, you have to watch it. It's like not as scary as you remember. And I was like, no, I just won't. I will absolutely not do that at all. And I can't, it's something I cannot get past. I went to a haunted house one time when it's like 20 years old and there was a clown and I cried. Like straight up cried.
You would not do well at Pier Farm.
I have been. That wasn't the place that I cried at, but the first ever one that I went to, I cried because there was a clown, and then I got over it and I was able to like go, and I was like, okay, like they're fun, but they still like they're something that makes me really uncomfortable. So when I get to that part of the scary, I have to put a front on, and I'm like, okay, bye, and I like book it as fast as I can away from the clouds. Bye.
Sense
Can't
your
do it.
fear.
I feel like the trick to haunted houses is to not act scared. Like when you act afraid,
Right,
you know,
that's-
then they like target you and they come at
Yes.
you, and you have to like,
Yeah.
you have to put on your own
Yep.
mask, you know.
That's
and then
what
they
I
move
do
on.
when the clowns come. That's
Yeah.
what I do when the clowns come. Because I know that
Yeah,
they're
that
there
makes
because it's a
sense.
common fear for people now, I feel like. So that's what I do. And it's funny, the ones with the chainsaws, I always laugh because I'm like, I can see that you don't have a chain on your chainsaw. And that's the thing I'll focus on. I'm like, you can't actually hurt me because you don't have a chain on your chainsaw.
The chainsaws fuck me up, man.
Oh, see, no, because
You want to get me running, you pull out a fucking chainsaw. I know that it's
Nah,
not
dude,
real,
see,
but I
that
would
doesn't
run.
scare me.
I would
That
run
doesn't
for my
scare me.
life.
The chainsaw itself doesn't scare me. It's the person that's wielding the chainsaw that I want to fucking just pass out.
My irrational fear is that they're a psycho person and they put a chain on the chainsaw and
Okay.
they're gonna murder me in a haunted
Okay.
house.
For
and
that,
who's gonna
thank
know
you
that it's fake
for that.
because it's a
Thank
haunted
you.
house?
Thank you
Okay,
so much
and
for that.
and now
Thank you.
now there will be no more haunted houses. Now I'm just afraid of the chainsaws, and so like no, thank you. Which is actually funny because Fear Farm was my husband and I's first date.
Okay, Monica, next question's for you. Okay. Actually, also I want to mention that we pulled up these questions off of our fifth wheel, which is our friend
Our
ChatGPT,
lover.
aka Chad. It's Monica's
Chad.
boyfriend.
So if you hear us reference Chad, it's really just Chad.
If you guys are wondering who
GPT.
Chad is, it's not one of our husbands. It's just Monica's bestie, ChatGPT. Chad.
Her side piece.
He gave us some icebreaker questions. So Monica's question is, if you had to have dinner with any fictional character, who would it be?
Okay, this one is going to sound so random.
Don't
but I
say
have so
Chad.
many- No, not Chad.
Yeah, don't do that. Not including Chad.
Besides
Not
Chad.
Chad. Not Chad. Chad and I, we talk regularly. It's fine. No, actually, okay. So I think because we were talking about this book the other day, so it's probably why it's in my mind. But I would want to have dinner with Verity because I have so many questions.
Oh, that's a good one.
So many questions.
So good. Oh, I just dropped my phone. Sorry, guys. I don't know.
So many questions though. Like,
Oh, that's such a good.
What would you ask her? Give
Please,
us
let's
two.
give it. Please.
I mean, I've thought about how in the world she was able to like, and sorry if any of you listening have not read the book.
Spoilers!
Verity, like,
Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers!
now, right now.
Spoilers!
Spoiler alert for Verity.
right now.
Verity by Colleen Hoover. Spoiler,
Yes.
spoiler, spoiler.
I feel like everyone's read it. The coho like fad, has been going.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, if you haven't read it, tune out now, go read it, and then come back and tell me what you think. DM us, tell us what you think.
Please.
But I just have so many questions because how in the world did she pull it off? Like, to be that still, to be that quiet, to be able to tolerate that. Like, how do you pull that off? Like, how do you have that level of self-control? And, like, to be that still. You know what I mean?
I have a lot of questions for the
It's
husband.
fucking freaky.
I forgot his name, but
I don't remember his name either. Clearly, I don't care because I don't want to have dinner
my
with him. I
biggest
want to
question
dinner
is
with Verity.
like, why, how? My biggest questions
Yeah.
are how and why. Yeah.
Well, and then of course there's always like the question of like what were the manuscripts, right? Were they real or not? But
Yes.
Yeah.
like,
And
Just
if
so
they weren't real, what possessed your crazy ass to write them and not... I'm sorry, but I feel like you should have told him from the beginning, I'm writing these. This is fake.
Yes.
If you ever find this, because
Yes.
that shit was fucked up.
It really was. It really was.
so
The whole
I'm
book
just
honestly
so
is
messed
twisted.
up.
Like
The whole
from the
book.
beginning, if she
From the
when she
beginning.
wrote it, she should have written, "This is fake. I'm practicing my writing. 'Cause
Literally.
this is gonna make me sound like a psycho."
Oh my gosh.
Right? Well, and I think
It had
there's-
me.
Yeah.
It had
For
me.
sure.
I was like, these are real.
Yeah.
And now,
It might be.
Crazy,
I
sorry.
hope they were.
That's a
because
good
if
one,
not, she
Monica.
was for nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, the
That's a
entire
good one,
book was
Monica.
like so twisted. But I have so many questions
it was
about
such a
like
mindfuck.
what actually happened, and we still don't know. Like we don't know.
Yeah.
That was such a
and
good one, Monica.
It's probably
I
going
knew
to
that
be
was
a
a good one,
one-off, and we'll never know.
Actually, we're gonna get intimate.
Okay.
What's the weirdest thing in your fridge right now?
Okay, weirdest thing in my fridge. I mostly have just like snacks in there, because I have toddlers. Snacks and drinks, but we do like save all of our bacon grease, so we can like cook with it later. So we do have jars of like bacon grease. Also,
Are
my
they
husband
labeled?
smoked. He smoked a
That might be
pork.
confusing.
Is that weird? Do most people have bacon grease?
No.
No,
At least
but
I
I could
don't.
just see like some random person being like, "What is this?"
They're just like
I
mason
think-
jars
I
of
think a
grease.
lot
There's
of-
also a mug. There's also a mug of grease in my fridge from last time my husband smoked a pork. So I guess those would be the weirdest things in there.
Just have
My
grease in
sourdough
your
starter.
fridge.
I
That's
don't
not
think that's
weird.
that weird. I think you would
Yeah.
find a lot
Yeah.
of older people, especially, have probably
With
in their
grease
fridge.
in their refrigerator?
Oh, Nicole thinks it's weird.
I do think it's weird, yeah.
Well, it's like a
can reuse
fad.
it.
Like what's the beef called? Tallow. It's like tallow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Except
What's
with
the
bacon.
beef?
Yeah, I couldn't think of
We've
the
got
word.
the
What's
beef.
the beef?
It came to me when I said beef. I knew if I said beef, it would come to me. And it's like
I mean,
the
I
same
think
thing.
that's
It's like
kind of
filtered
weird,
and cooked
but-
down, so you can use it for like whatever, You
Yeah,
could, like,
it
use
makes
as chapstick,
it's practical.
just like tallow.
A little weird, but practical.
A little weird. That's the weirdest thing. I don't think I have anything weirder than that. I'm gonna go look after this.
I don't think it's that weird.
Update us. Please
I wish I
update
could
us.
tell you there was like placenta in there or something, but there's not. So. Wish I had something more entertaining.
not what I thought you were gonna go with.
What else could be weird? What else would be weird to have in your fridge?
That could get dark,
Yeah, it
It-
could actually.
yeah.
freaky. real
Oh,
quickly.
wait, that reminds me. When we bought our house, not me buying my house, but my parents, when they bought their house and we were cleaning out the fridge, there was dead goldfish in Ziploc baggies in the freezer.
Nope.
See,
Yep.
that's weird.
Okay,
That's
So
that's
that was weird
weird.
in my fridge once
And-
upon a time.
I mean,
Yep.
Jeffrey Dahmer probably had some weird shit in his fridge too. We know that.
Ugh,
So
gross.
see, it could get weird. It could get really
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah, we're
She
going
said
down a
more
strange
gross.
path. Yeah.
It's my favorite path.
Leave it to Nicole to
Strange
bring up
one.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Leave it to me. I love,
Yeah,
love
that
my
was
serial
weird.
killers.
Speaking of really weird crap, can we talk about the video or the story where the groom was getting married and the wife went looking for him and they found him in his like suite or whatever, or a closet or something, breastfeeding from his mother?
Yep. Okay.
No.
Nope.
No.
That was on
No.
Reddit.
No.
Oh no. No. Nope.
Because I know we were talking about boy mom icks, and that is like the epitome of
that's
boy
the
mom
queen of boy mom icks.
Yeah,
That
that
wins
one,
the
that
ultimate.
one
Like,
takes
how are
the
you?
cake.
What are you probably? If you're getting married, you're probably at least in your 20s, at the very
Yeah.
least. You're probably maybe in your 30s. What are you doing with your mother?
I have so
Stop
many
it.
questions about it. I
away.
have so many questions.
I hope so badly that is a fake story.
I hope
Like,
it also.
and
is
I
a
have
fake
to
story.
convince myself that wasn't real.
Yeah, how
that
made
was
me
just for
nauseous.
entertainment.
It made me nauseous.
It's weird that they would get all the way to the point of getting married, and that's like divine intervention that she caught it in that moment, if that is
Yes.
true, because how did she not know
Oh
it
my
like
God.
leading up to?
How
How did she never?
They must.
Just
He
special
must have been
occasions,
hiding
actually.
it from her.
Okay,
Well,
how
like,
does this
how
woman even
often
have
does
breast
this
milk?
happen?
Where's this
Well,
woman getting
I mean,
breast
if
milk
you-
from? I'm
you
confused.
don't
Someone
stop.
is keeping it stimulated.
Yep. If you don't
Gross.
stop, it just keeps going. Oh, you said stimulated, and I got chills all the way, like from the base of my neck all the way down.
No, this
Nope.
is boy mom ick. That's disgusting.
That's.
Well, I think
I mean,
this kind of
the dad was
describes-
there too, though, wasn't he? So the
I
dad
don't
is in
know.
on it.
I don't
Yeah, he
know.
was. I'm pretty sure it was like the dad was there and he was suckling off the teat of his mother.
No,
It's
stop.
like a family affair. It's really
oh my
messed up.
god. Did they get married though?
No,
No,
I don't
I
think
don't
so. I
think
think
so.
I'm pretty sure she left.
I'm pretty sure she ran
What
for
an
the fucking
embarrassing
hills.
story. What if you have to go out and tell your
That
mom
is an
guests?
embarrassing
She
story.
is
When
where
it's
the
called
runaway
off.
bride originated from.
Literally.
Oh my god. I could not. Your whole life would just feel like a lie. You know what I mean? Like, I was with this person for however long, obviously long enough
How do
to
you
say, yes,
trust?
I want to marry you. And have that trust to marry that person. I'm sweating with disgust.
Yeah, I am
No,
too,
I can't.
actually.
I'm
It's like
sweating,
worse than
like
like
literally
a normal
sweating.
story, like cheating or
Yeah.
something.
Oh,
Well,
it's
it
worse.
tastes
It's worse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's worse.
because it's
What?
like
It's so
incest
incestuous
cheating.
and gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's the whole problem. That's the whole, like, how there's this whole, like, boy mom ick thing. I think it's, like, the incestuous, you know, like,
Ugh.
Implications.
possessiveness
Yeah.
over their boys type of stuff that's making
Yeah, like
people...
this is peak boy mom ick, and obviously the exception to what is like typically out there. But yeah, it's that vibe. It's that vibe of it being like this possessiveness.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, okay, I can't because I actually can, like, I have an image in my head and I can't get it out. So can we,
I do
like,
too.
I know,
I do
okay,
too.
I know. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Moving on. Sorry to
I keep
everyone that had to hear that
literally-
story.
And I'm sorry for those of you listening to me doing like vomit noises.
Yeah, I think I did one too.
Sorry.
I apologize.
If that's a weird trigger for anybody, I apologize.
People don't like that generally, I think.
Don't. Here I am, just. Sorry. Okay, no more. I'm done.
And then you did it.
I know. I'm sorry.
I think
Good.
that it started from a good place of
Yeah.
just loving your son, and it just slowly, TikTok by TikTok, got taken too far. And then when they threw in that Celine Dion song,
Oh,
that
stop.
was it. That was the final straw.
We're gonna
There
lose
was no
Nicole
coming
again.
back from that. He says, "We're all just living this life for the first time." So
Oh,
We
that's
gotta
my
give a
favorite
little
thing I've ever said to Kelsey.
Pistachio. Our little pistachio. That's my name for Ashley. We call her Pistachio because she's a tough nut to crack. But
Yeah, I don't
her
feel
name
like
is
I'm,
Ashley,
like...
so I had to smash it together, and now she's
we
Pistachio.
trauma dump a lot, and we found pretty recently that we realized that Ashley doesn't trauma dump quite as much as we do, and that we didn't really know as many of her deep-seated traumas
Yeah.
as she knows about us. So we've
No,
been
we've
cracking
been
her
in this
like a
group chat.
pistachio.
Yeah, we've been in this group chat together for, I don't know, months,
Like a
right?
year.
The four of us
It's
have a
like
group
a
chat.
year.
And all of a sudden, they're like, wait, Ashley, we don't know you. And they're asking me all these weird random questions, like my favorite color and stuff. I didn't realize I
Important
was
stuff.
so closed off, but apparently. But then I told my husband that, and he was like in agreement. He's like, yeah, I tell you that you should be more open or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay.
Great, thanks. Okay.
I guess it tracks.
That's
Our
so
little
funny.
pistachio.
Yeah.
Pistachio.
Welcome to my nickname, Pistachio.
I love it.
Yes.
But yes, we're all just living this life for the first time, doing our best.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of motherhood and all things motherhood, what bothers you most, or has bothered you the most? What's got you a little bit bothered?
Okay, I have something
Or a
I'm a
lot.
little bit bothered by, and maybe this is good. I don't know if you guys even know this about me, so maybe this is new news to everybody. I'm a little bit bothered.
Pistachio.
Yes, I know. This is perfect timing. I'm a little bit bothered by the way that I have two sons, the way that my births went. I had scheduled C-sections for both of them. And if I could go back, I would have never scheduled C-sections for them, because my first son, I went until 41 weeks, and
Oh.
I never had any
That's intense.
contractions. He didn't drop, nothing was really happening, but I
Rough.
also never really tracked my period or anything. So my timing could have been off. But the other thing
Okay.
was he was huge. However, I'm almost 6 foot. My husband's 6 foot. I was a 9-pound baby. He was too. So it's not surprising that, our son is large. But also I'm not a small person. So I probably could birth a large baby, but we'll never
Probably.
know, because my doctor was pushed for a C-section, really pushed for it. And I was just at that stage, well, whatever the doctor says is best is best, which is not necessarily my school of thought anymore. But back
think
then it was.
Yeah, and they kind of scare first-time moms into certain things.
Yes.
I feel like that might be an unpopular opinion. Whoops. Okay.
Oh,
It
that's a
really
whole-
depends on your doctor. But yes,
Yeah.
I've heard so many stories.
Yeah, that's a whole other
Thing.
The medical healthcare industry as a whole. But yeah, I felt like she really pushed me to have the C-section. So that's what we did. We scheduled it. And then to like compound the issue, I still was just like a new mom and kind of like not like still not really like sure of everything I was doing. So when I got pregnant again, which my son was 1 when I got pregnant, so pretty quick after, I had the same doctor, and again she pushed for a C-section. She's like, well, you've already had one, so normally we'd just schedule another one. And again, I'm like, okay, this is what the doctor says is best. And this is when it really started to like, this is the one that pissed me off more, because when you schedule a C-section, like my first, we waited till the 41 weeks, but when you schedule your second one, they recommend taking the baby out at 39 weeks so you don't go into labor. So at 39 weeks, they would have taken him out, but my doctor was out of town that week, so they opted to go a week earlier, and he ended up coming out. He was like 2 pounds less than my first son. He was only 7 pounds. My first son was 9.
Yeah.
So he could have cooked so much longer, I feel like. And that's when I really like started to get bothered by the fact that she just like really pushed me into both C-sections.
That would bother me too, especially because like that, I feel like they often will tell you once you've had one C-section, you can never have another like vaginal birth. And that's not true. We do know that now. I think it was popular opinion at one point, but it is possible. And like you said, he could have cooked a little bit longer, and
you're just at their will, I feel like, which is just kind of annoying if you don't know to advocate for yourself. So
true, very true.
I think the hard part too is that for a lot of women, like you've thought about how it's going to go for so long, like before you maybe even had like your pregnancy. And so then sometimes when things like that happen, like it's just not how you envisioned it. And so it's almost like a delayed grief later on too, because it's just not what you had hoped for. It's not what you envisioned.
Yeah.
And it's just hard. And I think that sometimes that can carry throughout different parts of motherhood too, is that like we envision it to be a certain way and then it's not.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Monica? Was something hard for pregnancy for you?
Oh gosh. Pregnancy was just hard. I am 5'2", and so I'm short, and I probably have like the world's shortest torso. But my kids didn't care. So
no, they usually don't. Typically they don't care. They don't give any fucks about anything.
I was kind of chuckling to myself actually when you were describing how like the size of your kids, because all 3 of my kids were over 9 pounds.
Oh,
and there was no room for them.
My darling, I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they were all over 9 pounds, and it was insane. But I think my second pregnancy was definitely like the most uncomfortable and challenging because I had polyhydramnios, so I had way too much amniotic fluid. It's wild. I didn't even know it was a thing until I was pregnant. But basically, by the time I hit, I think it was around like 37 weeks, I was measuring like I was carrying full-term twins because there was so much fluid. And he literally had an entire swimming pool. Like, they joked around about it in the hospital because I had to be induced because it created a high-risk pregnancy. Oh, and literally for about like 12 hours, like all of the nurses coming in would be like, so why are you high risk? Oh, poly, got it. And I'm like, is it that big of a deal? Like, okay. And then they all made the same joke about like, there's going to be a swimming pool in here.
Oh, God. Ew, I hate that.
Don't slip. Oh, my God.
And I'm like, okay. And so then when they finally broke my water, they were not kidding. They had to like line the bed up with towels.
I'm surprised they didn't bring in a kiddie pool just to catch it all, or like a bucket.
No, for real. They lined my bed with like towel after towel after towel. And then my doctor finally broke my water, and like you could hear it hit the ground. Like it sounded like somebody
both
took a
Kelsie
giant
and I,
bucket
our jaws just hit the floor.
Like it sounded, I'm not exaggerating even a little bit. It sounded like somebody took a bucket of water and just like splashed it all over the floor to like mop the room.
Wow. I have a question. Before you gave birth, with all that, did it change the way you felt him? Like Did he feel like he was moving more or less?
Okay,
That's a good
so
question.
yeah, so I think what's interesting is this is my more hyperactive child. So he didn't stop moving, like, at all. But you
From the
could,
womb.
yeah, you could feel him doing like flips inside of me though. Like it hurt so bad. Like I knew when he was like flipping because I could like literally see it and like see him like kicking out.
Okay, unpopular opinion about pregnancy. That's the weirdest thing when you can see them like
Yeah.
a foot sticking out. It borderline skeeves me. Like,
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
like,
I love it.
oh, you do? Oh no, I can't. I don't
I
like
do
the
too.
feeling on
I
the
love
inside
that.
of my skin from the. No.
I love it.
Nicole,
I
sorry,
think it's
like
great
when they're
sensory stuff today.
Lopsided.
So I didn't realize I was such a sensory weirdo until I got pregnant. Actually,
When you have Braxton Hicks and your stomach squeezes around them and you can like see their body shape inside of you.
Yes. It's so wild.
Oh, weird. No, that never happened to me.
What? Oh,
Well,
man.
yeah, it happened to me a lot.
That's funny.
I had Braxton
Well,
Hicks from like 20 weeks on.
I didn't
The
have a lot
funny-
of those, but
I had so
Ew.
many. So many. The funny thing about like me being pregnant though is that I carry completely in the front. And so it was like that episode. This is a terrible episode of Family Guy, but it's like that episode where like Quagmire's like seeing the skinny girl and she like turns around and with my husband and I joke.
that's hilarious.
Kelsey's face. My husband
We
and I
need to see a
joke around
picture.
it.
Right.
Okay, I'll post,
Where
I'll
do we
post
find
it.
it?
I'll
It's the
post it to
fact that
Instagram.
you're referencing Quagmire in our podcast. It's really got me right now.
Quagmire's.
we were my husband
Chad,
and I were literally
Fanny,
talking about this
Quagmire.
episode the other day because you would be behind me and you wouldn't know I was pregnant and then I would turn around to the side and I was serving tables my first pregnancy and the amount of times I'd be wearing my black polo and like facing somebody and then I'd turn and the entire table's like, whoa. Like they didn't know I was pregnant.
I had the same. I carried the same. Maybe it's a short torso girl thing because I carried the
Yeah.
same. It was very forward front. Like you couldn't tell I was pregnant from the back, except for my badonkadonk. I don't have a butt. Okay, no butt, zero. But when I'm pregnant, your girl got a booty. That's the only giveaway. Besides my belly, obviously.
That is hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh, pregnancy.
Was that your only pregnancy that was like not great though? Your second?
No, all three of them had various challenges that were just really, really hard. Like I had kidney stones my first pregnancy in the middle of my pregnancy and was hospitalized 3 days. I had poly with my second, and then with my third, because I had like no ab structure left, I was in tremendous amount of pain from like 12 weeks on. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. That really sucks.
Yeah,
What about
pregnancy
you, Nicole?
is just really hard.
I had really shitty pregnancies too. I hate those women that are like, I love being pregnant.
Oh, that's me.
Kelsey.
That's me.
Yeah.
I
okay,
want to
but
be one of
still.
those girls.
I'm envious of those people because, or they're like, oh, I just had the glow. I felt so beautiful. I'm like, no, I did not. I was a shriveled prune because I was puking from the moment I peed on the stick until the moment the child came out of me. Literally
Oh my God.
puking
Ugh, that's so hard.
constantly. And I didn't know that like that was an actual medical thing until later because my mom had the same pregnancies. Do you think a doctor would ever actually say what we had? And I didn't find out until later that like
HG.
yeah, then nobody diagnosed me with HG. I didn't know that was a thing until after I was pregnant
Wow.
both times.
Maybe
And
we'd just be letting women suffer.
literally, and I was my second pregnancy, I was so dehydrated I should have been hospitalized, but I didn't want to go to the hospital, and I had to force myself to drink chicken noodle soup broth but it was so hard because my own saliva made me nauseous. I literally would open my eyes and throw up. My teeth are actually destroyed because of how much I was puking throughout my whole pregnancies, both times. And my first pregnancy, I worked the entire time. I worked the entire pregnancy behind the chair as a hairstylist. I was working at like a dry bar type thing. So I was taking clients every 45 minutes, and in between each client, I was puking. So I was throwing up every 45 minutes, pretty much every day. Okay, well, we had technical difficulties, so I don't really remember where I was at in the story, but I just had really awful pregnancies. I was throwing up like constantly. It never failed. In my first pregnancy, I think I lost like 13 or 14 pounds in my first trimester before I like ever started putting on any weight. And that wasn't a red flag for anybody. They were like, yeah, pregnant people throw up. That was what I got. Pregnant people throw up.
So sad for you though that like that was the response that you got, because I know that not every provider is that way, and it makes me so sad.
He was like, here, have some Zofran and then take a nap or try to eat something. And then I had to switch providers at one point really early in my pregnancy, and the first one that I had, I was like, listen, I'm so sick I can't eat anything. The only thing I can eat is oranges. And he was like, well, don't eat those because it's citrus and it's going to upset you and your stomach more. And I was like, dude, if it's the only thing I can eat, I'm going to eat it. Like, I don't care.
There's no other option.
Like, what do you mean don't eat the oranges? That's the only thing I can stomach.
Don't eat the thing that you can keep down.
Don't eat the thing that you can keep down. Yeah. So I was like, no, dude. Like, and I had a meat aversion with both pregnancies.
Ooh.
So bad. I couldn't go near it. I couldn't look at it. I couldn't smell it. I couldn't do anything. It was just the worst. And that is why I won't be getting pregnant ever again. Well, at least that's what I say. That's what I say. The other day I was actually telling Justin, I was like, you want to have more kids with me? And he was like, well, yeah, but I don't want you to have more kids because you have I want you to have more pregnancies. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to have any more pregnancies either. Never mind.
Pregnancies are just so much work on the body. It's so hard.
And they're different for everybody. Yeah. And I think like that's got to be hard on providers, but a little bit more like empathy or like, I don't know. That's a whole other topic, the medical world. But that is why I'm done having babies, because my pregnancies were not great. But Kelsie, we know you love pregnancy, so give it to us. Give it to us. Dish all about the pregnancy. Let's hear it.
I love being pregnant, but I'm not very good at getting pregnant. So my troubles lie before the pregnancy, not with the pregnancy. We struggled for several years to get pregnant, actually. So that's...
How old are your kids? I'm blanking. He's
5 and then almost 2, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then when did you guys start trying to have children?
So we got married when we were 19, and Trevor didn't want to have kids right away, and I did because I've always wanted kids. And so that was actually a point of contention in our marriage. At least the only thing we ever fought about was me wanting babies ASAP and him not wanting babies ASAP. But I also had this really deep-rooted fear that something was wrong. Like from I don't know, probably 17 or 18, I was like, I had this fear that I couldn't get pregnant. And so when a few years of marriage went by and he didn't want one, so obviously we weren't having one. When someone doesn't want one, the compromise is not having one during that time. Right. But when my grandpa passed away, I was very upset because obviously I was like, my kids will never get to meet him. And so that kind of like swayed him a little bit. So we started trying around then.
Maybe a signs of backup.
You might hear my kids scream. It is what it is at this point.
It's real life.
Literally.
Yeah.
When we started trying, obviously time started going. And we were never, even when we weren't trying, we were not really being careful. Okay. Being careful was never a thing. We weren't on birth control. We didn't use condoms. Pull-out was all that there was. We were not careful even when we weren't trying. So that alone, not getting pregnant for those years is impressive. But then when we started trying, we weren't getting pregnant. And I asked around like 9 months, I want to say. I asked my doctor. And she said, oh, you haven't been trying for a year yet. just keep on. I'm like, okay, but at this point, and the thing that haunts me to this day, you're young. Just keep trying. Do you know how much time I could have saved if I had a doctor who didn't say, you're young, just keep trying?
Yeah.
But so we kept trying, and Trevor got deployed. He was gone for 6 months, which was a nice break mentally. But I also Delulu convinced myself that, and he came back, that was gonna be it. We were gonna get pregnant. Spoiler alert: we did not get pregnant. And we didn't get pregnant for a couple more years. So we moved because we're a military family. We moved and we got settled in, and at my first pap smear gynecology appointment, I brought it up to my doctor that we had been trying for several years and we had no success, and I was fully traumatically prepared for her to shut me down, but she did not. She instantly got us in for I will say one thing, that she turned to Trevor in our first meeting and she said, does your wife eat?
I'm skinny.
Wow.
So she basically asked my husband if I had an eating disorder. And my husband is so not serious at all. And so
Oh no.
he kind of chuckled and was like,
I'm trying to picture him in this situation.
He straight up said no.
Stop.
Oh God.
No, she don't eat.
Because he's very unserious. And
All right, and he probably didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, no, he didn't. And I was like, I was really mad. I'm like, I eat.
You can't tell her that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we had it out later. I was like, you cannot say that. Growing up as a skinny person, if someone asks you that, it's not a joke. So anyways, she took it very seriously. She started running tests. And I had a bunch of tests, and then Trevor had a sperm analysis, and then I had one where they shoot dye up into your tubes and make sure that they're open.
Oh wow.
And
I've never heard of that.
I have
test
not
before.
either. Wow.
Yeah, they put something through your cervix and they shoot dye to make sure your tubes are open.
Wow.
And the tech that day said, well, a lot of people get pregnant after this. And I was so mad at her. I was mad. I was like, who says that to somebody who's, they're experiencing infertility? That's such
that's
false
a weird
hope.
thing to say.
Yeah.
It's such false hope. And then Trevor did his sperm analysis in that same time frame. And we were supposed to have a sit down, I think 2 weeks later, to discuss all of it and the plan. And I got pregnant.
Oh.
Wow.
After several years and lots of pain and heartache, right when we were about to get answers, I got pregnant.
Right.
So that lady was right, but it really pissed me off that she said that anyways.
No, those kind of comments and appointments are just they might be saying them with good intentions, but they stick with you,
but
and
you
you
just
never
can't,
know
yeah.
how it's going to land with that woman or that mom.
Yeah, and I just think it's just a dangerous thing to say when, especially
You don't
that's a
know. You
whole-
can't guarantee.
Yeah, it's a whole side thing that I could rant on forever. But so anyways, I got pregnant. That pregnancy was relatively easy, other than I started bleeding once at 15 weeks, a lot, and I thought I was losing him, but it was a hematoma and it all turned out okay. I had him. It was a relatively easy pregnancy after that. But then right after that, we were like, we don't want to wait to try again, because what if it's hard again?
Yeah.
Right.
And a little bit,
Understandable.
we were delusionally hoping that it wouldn't be hard. Because a lot of people are like, oh, after your first one, we never had trouble again.
Yeah.
You want to
Not
hope
true.
that, but one again, that's another toxic positivity thing, just not to say to somebody, because we did not get pregnant easy again. We tried for another year, and I was too afraid to ask for help before then, and I wish I hadn't been, because after a year, I went to my doctor again, and I said, it's been a year, we can't get pregnant. And he said, let's get a sperm analysis because you got pregnant.
Right.
And so and I said, well, we had one but we never found out the results because we got pregnant. And then I had a whole bunch of testing done at the beginning because a whole nother side story about my weight where they thought I had Marfan syndrome. And so a whole bunch of things unraveled at the beginning where we didn't circle back to check the sperm analysis because we were pregnant.
Yeah, why would you?
So he's like, let's do that. And I was like, well, we have one. And he's like, oh, is it in our system? I said, it should be. He pulled it up and his face dropped. And he's like, this is low. I can't remember the number, but he was like, the sperm count is very low compared to it's supposed to be in like the millions, you know? It's supposed to be very high. It was very low. Like 15,000, I want to say. And I'm sorry, Trevor, I'm married now. True dirty laundry. I think it's important to talk about though, because fertility is not just always on the female, and it often gets looked at that way.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say.
It's almost 50%. It's 40 to 50%. I can't remember the exact statistic. Is just as likely to be the male as it is to be the female.
Right.
So, anyways, we got that figured out. So Trevor got referred to urology where he got some other tests done, and basically we thought we were going to have IVF, but we were getting close to moving again. And so we decided to wait to our next duty station to really try and jump into IVF. So in that time, I got pregnant. And pretty quickly, I had a bad feeling about it, and I didn't tell anybody. I just hoped that I was just being scared because being in the infertility community, it's also the miscarriage community. And on Instagram, like I was full in there. And so I saw I saw miscarriages daily. Yeah. And
so that was at the forefront.
That was at the forefront of my mind. Yeah. So I thought, everyone's afraid of having a miscarriage. Literally. But I just really felt pretty deeply that something was wrong. And I would actually like clutch my belly and I would sing a hymn, like have faith in God. And I started bleeding shortly after Christmas. That's the worst. I remember the moment, like we were sitting there doing a puzzle at the table and I got a cramp, like a period cramp. And I went to the bathroom and I knew I was going to see blood, and I did. So we went to the hospital, and after an ultrasound, they said how far along. I mean, obviously we discussed how far along I was supposed to be. It was supposed to be 8 weeks, and I was measuring 6, so it was a miscarriage. And so I got sent. She said, it could still be that you just don't know the exact conception. And I was like, my periods are very regular, and so it's not likely that I would be this off.
I was gonna say, with your journey already thus far, it's not likely that you wouldn't know.
We were tracking a lot of things. You were
tracking a lot of things. You were trying for a while. You were very intuitive with what was happening in your body.
She was trying to be positive, and I said, what are the chances that with a regular period and me like tracking all this, that I could still be off? And she just looked at me with like pity in her eyes, and she's like, probably not, Right. And she's like, and this is one of my moments that stuck in my head for as long as I can remember. It's one of the best healthcare moments I've ever had. Is she grabbed my hand and she said, I want you to know, no matter what happens, there's nothing that you did right or wrong that caused this.
Yeah.
And
shit.
For an ER doctor, like I got more compassion from that ER doctor than I did from your regular
midwife. Doctor.
So anyways, I went home. I miscarried the next night, I believe, in my bathtub. And it got pretty dark from there.
Yeah, understandably.
So I went to my, without skipping all the details, but I did go to my midwife. I had to have a follow-up ultrasound to make sure that I had all of the pregnancy, that I had birthed it all, because miscarriage is birth. It is giving birth. and it was all gone. So my midwife, that was like the worst experience ever. She was very cold.
Ugh.
Um,
How can you be
she
a
was-
midwife and be cold?
She
Like,
wasn't my regular doctor, but still, I think like she was like, yeah, there's no matter left. You know,
oh no.
you can start trying, and like I can't remember even what she said. I got more compassion from the lady drawing my blood. Like I had to go have my HCG drawn to make sure there was dropping, and I was bawling, and the midwife just like sent me on my way, and the lady drawing my blood was like, because it was COVID, so I had a mask. She was like, take your mask off, like
Right.
you can take your mask off, just cry, like just
Yeah.
just a second, and you know, take your time, get, you know. And so you get way more compassion from the people you don't expect it from. But
True.
Anyways, so we returned back to our plan of trying to get help when we moved. So then we got stationed in Hawaii, and I was really struggling with the miscarriage, and then struggling to get pregnant again, because once again, everyone's like, you're going to get pregnant after your miscarriage. You're so much more fertile. Like you'll get pregnant right away.
That's weird
Once
to tell
again,
somebody that
never
just
say
Another
that.
miscarried.
wonderful comment.
That's not okay.
So, almost a year to the day goes by. We're trying to get in. It's really hard because of COVID, and it's extra hard because we're in Hawaii.
Right.
And my doctor, even though we had proof that Trevor was, and his urologist was on board with him, like us being referred to the clinic, my doctor said, you haven't been trying a year from your miscarriage,
What?
so you need to
No way.
keep trying.
What? No way.
Wow.
They did not tell you that.
Yeah, he did. And it really pisses me off because
That's so much missed time.
it's a lot of missed time. And around November, that's just an important date in this, even though I haven't been giving timelines, because I decided within myself that I was done. I was depressed. Like I was crying all the time.
Right.
I was so just mentally not
Right.
in a good place. And
How could you be though?
and I decided I was done. I didn't tell Trevor. I just decided within me, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to save myself. I have to save. I can't. I'm not me. Like my light is gone.
Yeah.
And as much as I want babies, like I'm not gonna be. I can't continue on this path. Like I have to call it quits. I have to start trying to accept that this might not ever happen for us. And I have to try to move past the baby that we lost. So I decided that within myself, and I couldn't share it because I didn't want to be talked out of it. And so I just started like trying to focus on other things, which is how I joined an MLM. No, but really,
another story.
So it is another story, but it is kind of important to this one a little bit. So I started channeling in my energy into my makeup and like making makeup videos, and like that can sound dumb or cheesy, but
That's how we met.
it is how I segued my mind. Not to make light of it, like I just had to pick something to focus on.
Yeah, no,
that
of
wasn't
course.
that.
Yeah.
You're literally crawling yourself out of like the deepest, darkest hole.
Yeah.
You have to grab something.
Just something.
Clutching at
Just
anything.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really did help, like focusing my energy elsewhere really did help. And then Trevor was getting ready to leave again, and I found out probably around the same time that I lost our baby, in December, I found out that I was pregnant. Very unexpectedly,
how that
and right
works.
at the year mark that the doctor
I've
had to
had
wait
said,
to.
right, yeah. Go figure.
which really
Yeah.
pisses me off.
Yeah.
Very bothered about that.
Yeah, fucking annoying.
I'm a little bit bothered because that's fucking. But anyways, so I got pregnant, and yeah, that's where we are today. It was your second baby is just more painful. Okay, everything
so.
relaxes a lot faster.
Yeah.
So it was a little more uncomfortable, but all in all, it was an easy pregnancy for the most part. And I had him in like 3 hours, like from start to finish.
Oh,
from
wow.
First contraction to the end.
Oh, wow.
That is crazy.
Wow.
But so here we are again. I just stopped breastfeeding. He's almost 2, and we want another baby. And that really unlocks a lot of fear
Yeah.
And yeah.
about doing it all
Yeah.
over again. But we know we're not done. And so here we are, just
Well, I
playing the
think
game again.
It's a journey.
Well, I think this time though, you're armed with a little bit more knowledge, if anything, and you can advocate for yourself a little bit more. So next time a doctor tries to tell you have to wait a year, you can be like, no, I'm not subscribing to that, and then you could.
During COVID,
move
it's
on.
like you didn't really have a choice.
No, you
Like,
really didn't. And probably
Yeah,
with like
everything was so
military,
fucked
I
up.
don't know.
Yeah.
Do you guys have military health care? I would assume.
I don't usually choose to use. I usually choose to not be in the military
Okay.
healthcare. I just pay a little bit extra to
Right.
go out.
Because I was
going
to say, like, sometimes your
Yeah.
options are just so limited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in
especially-
Hawaii and because of COVID, I did
Yeah.
choose, and we wanted to use their fertility clinic. I did choose to use the military healthcare, and at that point, like I had no other segues to get out of that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, I like hoping not to fall back into the depths of that again, but it's such a slippery slope of trauma.
Yeah.
It absolutely is, and I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting.
just-
Okay,
I just-
go ahead, Nicole.
you're really. I just want to say, like, we love you. You're so strong for
Yeah.
going through what you went through, and it.
Even though it's not fair, you had to
it's
go
not
through it.
fair, but
Yeah.
we're just glad we know you and we love you and we're proud of everything that you have gone through, and it's made you so strong. And I think you speak so well about it. I actually love, this is a horrible topic to speak about, right? But I actually love hearing you speak about it because you just talk about it so eloquently, and
Mm-hmm.
Something I'm really passionate about.
you are, and
think
I
that's-
can hear your passion about it. And
I think I kind of left out that like after my miscarriage, I created a miscarriage Instagram where I literally documented every feeling, and like I drew things, and that was like my content. And I think I poured into that so much that also did not help. I honestly don't. I have so much respect for the infertility miscarriage creators that continue through their whole journey.
I was
to
gonna say,
document it.
was that healing or was that hindering?
It was healing to a point, and
Right.
then it became the thing that I couldn't, like it became the thing that kept me too deep into it. And like everybody else shared their story with me, which I love when people
Yeah.
share their stories with me. But then I felt that I owed them that I felt like I owed that to them too.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't regret that.
No.
It's so important to me.
Yeah.
And anytime somebody messages me that they're struggling, like I will stop whatever I'm doing and I'll talk to them about it.
Right.
But it became the thing that I couldn't get out of it. Like I had myself so deep into that mindset that I couldn't see the light of day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was when I said I had to stop. I quit that account. It's still there. I never touch it because I want people to have those resources. But I had to stop that and completely step away.
Yeah.
You just recognized that you were at your limit with capacity.
That's good.
I recognized, that
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be okay if I didn't stop.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to recognize, though, I think, in most areas of life, but especially one that is just so personal and so close to home.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive and like I like to be the light. And when I realized that wasn't me anymore, then I had to
Yeah.
bring it back in. But
Yep.
Well, I feel like sharing all of our stories is like such a good example of how like it can range so much for everybody's experiences. I'm curious, so like for you, Kelsie, like if you could go back and tell like that younger version of you still going through it, or anybody listening who might be going through it, like what would you tell them?
What I would tell myself and what I would tell somebody else is different because you get told a lot of cliches when you're experiencing infertility. And people always say everything happens for a reason. And I think that's bullshit.
Our least favorite saying.
But looking back on it, I have the kids that I have because of the way things happened. And like I can't wish that away. Like if I had my second baby, would I have Maverick? I don't know. So you have to like find peace with like so anyways, what I would tell my younger self is that like what I would tell my younger self is that you are going to get through it and it's going to suck, but you are going to make so many connections along the way that I hope you never regret this journey as much as it's hard, because you make such a difference in people who maybe never even speak to you about it. Because sharing your vulnerable moments is power. And if I could just remind her every step of the way that it gets better and it makes me who I am today. And it doesn't make it okay. I still am mad that we've had such a difficult journey. But to somebody else, I would say, you know, don't listen to the toxic positivity. It's okay that it sucks, and it's okay to be mad about it.
Yep.
And it's okay to be sad about it.
It's okay.
Yep. And just know that it's not okay. It's not like, no, cut the crap. It's not okay. That's what I would say. It's not okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay that it's not okay. Like, you know, no toxic positivity.
And if it's never okay, then and if it never changes, like, just know that like what you've gone through is something that not everyone will understand, and that's okay. They don't have to.
Yeah. I love that you shared that though, because I think being able to share our stories, whether it's the pretty or the ugly or the easy or the hard, is really, really important. And just making space for being able to share those stories is so important.
Yes.
Agreed.
This is the space for it. Share everything with us, please. If you don't have the group chat, we'll be the group chat for you.
Okay, well, thanks for letting me share that with you. It won't always be that deep or sad, or it won't always be mommy content, but it is give you a look into who we are, who I am, and I'm very into connecting on a vulnerable and deep level, and I feel like that's important, and I hope you feel like you're a part of the group chat now.
Yeah, so thank you guys for listening and hanging in. If you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you guys so much. Please make sure that you follow us on all things social, and at a little bit
subscribe.
Bothered. Hit subscribe.
Right? Give us a
Leave us a
review.
Review, yes.
We are not above
message us.
Right?
We're not
5
professional
stars.
Podcasters yet, guys, so we don't know all the things to say, but do all the things that you do for the other podcasts.
We're not above begging. Give us a good review.
Ain't too proud to beg.
You guys, click the buttons. Click all
do
the
buttons
for us.
do the things. Please.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for next week's episode.
Welcome to the inner sanctum of friendship. These bitches are a little bit bothered.